We are continuing our Truck Talk series with H&A Law, and lawyer John Hollan joins me now. And we have talked about it before in the past, but we are going to talk some more about driver qualification dangers.
Yeah, so driver qualification, it's one of the most important safety tasks that trucking companies undertake. You know, the drivers that they put behind these 80,000-pound vehicles and operate not only in Kentucky but all throughout the country. It is a serious undertaking and it is a very heavily regulated portion of what trucking companies do each day.
And so when it comes to driver qualifications, their files, their records, what are some most common dangers and things that companies look at and maybe overlook?
Yeah, so you know, the regulations that we talk about, they're really minimum standards. So when we talk about getting a CDL, you know, for a lot of companies, if a driver has the CDL, they're going to do the other background searches that they have to do. But really, with the current environment that we're in, for example, it's estimated right now in America, there is a truck driver shortage of 100,000 drivers. In the next 5 years, it's estimated to be double that. So companies, you know, big, small, and everywhere in between, need drivers right now that they're really having a hard time finding. And for some companies, unfortunately, that is leading to them, you know, taking drivers on that have no experience, have just gotten a CDL, or maybe don't even truly have a CDL that these companies are bringing on and putting them on the roadway.
And so what happens when a company, you know, blurs those lines and puts someone on the road that doesn't have these qualifications, or, like I said, does some shady, blur the lines, you know, activities? Yeah,
and there, I mean, some of the things that we've seen in the past, I would say 2 to 3 years, I've had more driver qualification type issues and cases than I've had throughout the rest of my career. And we're seeing a lot of just troubling patterns. There was a really bad example out of Florida recently where a school there was actually, they were allowing cheating during the CDL exam process. So essentially what's been reported is drivers or potential drivers were coming in with earpieces and cameras with someone actually telling them the answers. So, you know, that of course is just absolutely terrifying to think about. But a lot of times, Madison, it's never going to be found out about. You know, if it's not for, you know, a good investigator, a good group of attorneys, and really someone that knows what to look for in driver qualification, the driving files, the licensure process, devastating results can happen and it never be uncovered.
And so who is ultimately responsible for those, you know, those drivers that are unqualified? So would it be that school? Would it be the person that is employing these people, or the driver themselves?
Yeah, so, you know, it can be spread in different places at times, but in one of the phrases I use in our cases is the buck stops here. You know, it is the company that is responsible for the qualification, the investigation, and ultimately choosing to put those drivers on the roadway. You know, they have to adhere to those federal regulations. There are stringent requirements that these companies have to do to investigate and qualify and train drivers. So, you know, those are the types of things that we're looking at when we get into investigating these cases.
So if someone finds themselves in this predicament, how do they get in contact with you or the law firm?
Yeah, so our offices are here locally on Main Street. We also have our office in Louisville. We are handling these cases all across Kentucky actively right now. Our website, semijustice.com, has a lot of consumer resources available for folks that have been involved in truck accidents, and our direct contact numbers on the screen.
Thank you so much, John, for these.
Thank you for having us.